Hello basketball coaches and basketball players, my name is Alan from Al's Basketball Training, and today I'm going to break down two different sideline out-of-bounds basketball plays that you can run with your team. First, I would like to say that these plays are found on paper or that you can print out on Coach's Clipboard, which is a website, but I am doing this video not just to copy their plays, but because I was asked by a subscriber to break down the plays in this format where I'm animating them versus on the paper format. And I understand that because there's a lot of basketball coaches that just don't understand the paper aspect or just find it extremely boring like I do. I like having my stuff animated myself. That's why I use this app called Coachbase for those 10 to 20 people who ask a day. It's called Coachbase. That's what this app is called. Let's get down to it and let's check out these two sideline out of bounds basketball plays. Okay, so this first play, we're going to be having players 5 and 4 starting in the high post, and they're going to be setting screens down for players 3 and 2. Now, first off, to keep in mind, we don't want both of these players setting screens down at the same time and having these players pop up. We want player 5 to go first and player 3 to receive that ball. Once he receives that ball, I want player 5 to set a back screen on player 1, and this is when I want to see a screen on player 2. So those players are going to set up screens. Player 2 is going to pop up top. Player 1 is going to be cutting towards the net. And what we're going to be having is player 1 who may be open for a layup, or player 2 who may be open for a three-point shot. Now, if neither of those players are open, what I want to see happen, and this is something that is not on Coach's Clipboard itself, is we can either have player 3 set up at the point to run a play, or if we only like to have player 1 calling plays out, we can have player 4 set a screen for player 1, player 2 to come down towards the high post, set a staggered screen for player 1, and player 1 can now set up the offense or have a second option to take that three-point shot. This is just a continuation on what you can do. Now I'm going to run in some defensive players really quickly and see how this offense or this play works. Now, just to keep in mind, this play really only works well against a man-to-man defense. So we're going to be having player 5 set a screen down, player 3 pops up, and player 1 passes player 3 the ball. At this time, we're going to be having player 4 set a screen for player 2. Player 2 is going to be popping, and we're going to be having player 5 set that back screen on player 1. At this time, player 1 is going to be cutting towards the basket, and we're going to be having a possibility of player 1 being open for that layup, or we could have player 2 open for that three-point shot. If player 1 is covered and player 2 is covered, what's going to happen now is player 2 is going to come down towards the high post, player 1 is going to continue through, and this is going to be a staggered screen for player 1 to be hopefully open for that three-point shot. Now, if there is help defense where player 2 red popped out, player 2 blue can now pop out, and player 2 could be now open for a three-point shot of their own. Or we can just have player 1 set up the offense. Okay, so now this next play works best against a 2-3 zone. However, it does work against a man-to-man as well, so I will show you that later on. However, first we're going to be going up against a 2-3 zone. And in this play, what we're going to be having is player 4 setting a screen on player 3, and we're going to be having player 5 set a screen on player 5 red. And then we're going to be having player 2 set a screen for player 4. At this point, what I want to see happen is player 1 to use that screen, and he's going to be popping out towards the point. After player 2 sets that screen, this is when we're going to be having this staggered or double screen set by players 4 and 5, because player 2 is going to roll off that screen, and then he's going to pop out baseline towards this corner. At this point, we can have player 1 open for a three-point shot or to set up the offense. We will then also have the option for player 2 to be open for a three-point shot as well. Or what we could have is player 3 to pass to player 1. We could have then player 1 red popping up top. And now with player 3 running inbounds, if player 3 was originally covering player 2 red, we could have a quick swing back to player 3 for the 3-point shot. Or if that has player 3 red popping up to guard player 3 blue, then at this point we could do the extra pass to player 2 blue for that 3-point shot of his own, or he can take a step in and take that shot. There's a few different options there. Now, against a man-to-man defense, it's very similar. However, there's a few differences. So we're going to be having player 2 set a screen down for player 1. Player 1 is going to be popping up top, and he is going to receive that ball. Now, he is the first option. The secondary option is going to be what I call a wall screen, but it's really just a double screen for when player 2 rolls off of that first screen that he's set, and he's going to be popping out towards this corner. So if player 1 is not open, then we would have player 2 as an option to be open for the 3-point shot. However, if player 1 was to get that ball and he was covered, player 2 rolls off that screen and he's covered as well. So player 1 is covered that he can't take that 3-point shot, but he was open enough to get that ball inbounded to him. What we can now set up is player 4 to go over towards this elbow over here, or not elbow, the block over here. Player 5 to be set up on this block. When player 3 runs inbounds, because it's not against his zone, he's not going to be open. So what we're going to be having now is player 3 setting a screen down for player 2, and player 2 can pop up to the elbow for that 3-point shot. Of course, that is an option. We could also have player 1 setting up the offense as well. Now, I hope that these sideline out-of-bounds basketball inbounds plays help your team win more games. If they do, let us know in the comment section below. I would love to hear from you, and I will see you guys again later on today for the second video of the day.